Okay, everybody. So welcome to this week's call. And firstly, I want to thank each and every one of you for turning up each week, because without you being here, it would be a very lonely little space to be talking to people. But after, I want to put an apology in for Dr. Ahrens again. He's actually here in Australia at the moment and unavailable this week. I'm not sure what next week will look like. But today, we talked about it, and what we're going to bring to you is a presentation. And as we go through it, it's understanding compliance and how we can talk about the product, how you can do it safely if you are going to be using, and I'll start putting it straight up here so we can start getting into it straight away. Just let me find the right one. But when we do start talking about products themselves, when we share them, as we know, with Valentis, they look after us very, very well. And when I say that, they look after us in keeping the product safe, in keeping the company safe, keeping the formulators and the doctors safe, but more importantly, it keeps you safe, because there are certain things that we can and we can't say. We do have guidelines that we have to follow. We have regulations that we have to meet. There's governing bodies that have big eyes watching on what is being said on a regular basis on social media. So we cannot make claims. So what I wanted to go through and make you think about, and hopefully give you some insight, we can use words like assist, support, manage, symptoms. These are 4 key words that you should write down and have them there, and they should be like pulling your socks on when you go to put a pair of shoes on, that you just automatically say, you know, I've got these amazing flavonoids that support and assist your body in managing the symptoms towards helping your body heal itself. These are things that you can say. So as we go through and we look at it, these are really important keywords to understand, regardless of whether it is Amulin or it is 24/7 AM, PM. It's any of the products that you're talking about that you need to be very mindful on how you explain it. However, when we start looking at all of these things over on this side of the page, and I'm going to put a little laser up, if you're going to use specific words like chronic pain, if you're going to talk about injury, if you're going to talk about backaches or migraines or any sort of actual medical condition, you cannot put in a company name. You cannot put a picture of the product with it. You cannot put the company logo like Valentis's logo in there, and you cannot put a reference to the doctors and or the formulators that are associated to that product. You just cannot. It's non-compliant. But if you're going to be talking about the symptoms, it's a different matter, but I would be really just keeping the company out. These are things that you're going to run into trouble if you decide to put company name, pictures of a product, the logo of the product and or the company, or reference to the doctors, even to tag the doctors or the formulators in on something that is associated with these types of words. You're going to run into trouble down the track somewhere. So this is a little bit of an idea on, you know, compliant versus non-compliant. And this has been carried through with Amulin from a previous company. Now, even some of these are, I'm not going to say that they would be compliant in some cases, but it gives you a little bit of an idea. If we look at ADHD, it's non-compliant because it's a condition, it's a symptom. All of these all the way down through here are all conditions that if you decide to use these conditions, they're non-compliant if you're going to be adding product, company, doctors, so forth to it, you're going to run into trouble. But what you can do is start looking at ADHD, trouble concentrating, provides a positive mental support. But I would be take provides out and say assists and supports in managing the symptoms, if that makes sense. Pain, replace it with discomfort. So you can start to see when we look down through here, insomnia, do you have difficulty in sleeping? Because it's not actually the clinical term insomnia. Menopause, change of life. So you can see fibromyalgia, like it's a severe discomfort of the body. The body is at disease and you feel old. That's just touches the iceberg. It's one of the conditions I have. It's a horrible one. Depression may help. So rather than looking at helps, put the word in front of it, may help. or supports and assists to improve your mood. So you can see the pathway that we're looking at doing. And again, helps manage immune system health, may support and manage. So we start looking at those 4 keywords that I put through there before. You know, you can copy this, you can take a screenshot of it. I'm happy for you to do it, because it's just a way of trying to explain to you, when you start using any of these ones down the side and you're adding them with any of the products themselves, the company logo, you're just going to run into trouble. So for instance, with Dr. Ahrens here, you do not use graphics like this with medical claims. So what do I mean? Like, you can't put something up like this and talk about somebody has dementia, and you've got this amazing product, Emulin, that's going to help and support with dementia. You've made a medical claim. I hope that makes sense. But what you've also done is set yourself up to get a letter from compliance, because you've implicated Dr. Ahrens, you've implicated the product Emulin, and so therefore you've basically married it up with a medical condition. It's something that you cannot do if you're putting it out on social media. But if you just wanted to put this out there as an amazing, Dr. Ahrens brings a phenomenal platform to the health and wellness industry, and just leave it at that, you can do something like that, but you just cannot put a medical condition to it. The same as these pictures. We've got these beautiful new bottles. I love the new labels because I think they sit in so many different spaces so much better. That's just my personal thoughts. But we can't use these types of graphics either in any sort of social media posting with medical claims. Even your own personal story, you can't put a product in there. And we can see, obviously, we've got the whole lot going on here, because we've got Valentis, the company, we've got the product itself, and then we've got a product by Dr. Joseph Ahrens as well. So it's just 1, 2, 3, bang, you're in trouble. It's just non-compliant. But what you can do, Todd, you're going to get the sack. I'll laugh at that. Sorry, Todd. This is another one as well. So do not use graphics like this. So it's a great image to be able to use, because the product does have banned substance control seal. But again, you can share this, and it may be for all those sports people out there, or anybody in the sports industry or in the workplace industry. Love you to have a look at this. It can be as simple as that if you're going to put it out onto social media. But the moment and you may say that it may aid in recovery, supports a healthy immune system. And if you're not sure on what those keywords are, go into your back office, click on the product itself, and go across and have a look at the description, and it will tell you what you can say. That's in your Valentis back office. So you can say it supports recovery, supports your immune system, supports you in feeling better. But the moment that you say that's going to fast track recovery or anything like that, you put those other words in front of, then you're going to find yourself in trouble. However, this is okay to say, is there is no reference to the product, company, doctors, or formula. So we can talk about flavonoids all day long, just like we did last week. The flavonoids are the missing link to health. And when you start and share and they say, well, what are flavonoids? What do they do? Flavonoids regulate the immune system to support inflammatory levels with the body. This is okay to say because there's no reference to the product, company, doctors, or formulators. If we change that and put an actual like Emulin in place of flavonoids, you would be in trouble. You would be non-compliant. And then if we look at this particular little picture, for me, it just tells 1,000 stories. I think it's a great image, because do you really know what's going on inside of your body? And what actually happens to people, they start looking for a solution when they're actually at the doctor and they're being told that they've got arthritis, that they're suffering with eye disorders, they've got joint pain, they're obese, they've been diagnosed with diabetes. We can talk about that if we're talking about flavonoids, but the moment that you put the product, the company, the doctors, or the formulators attached to it, you're going to be non-compliant. So there's ways of what you can and you cannot post on social media to be able to stay compliant. So take the word of the product out and all of those things out, then you can talk about these things, because all you are doing is providing information to people about inflammation. You're creating a story, you're creating interest, but you're staying compliant. So when we start going through, we touched on this yesterday in another call, of knowing what your story is. So write it down and understand what compliance means, that we do have policies in place with the company. And this comes from FDA in USA. So it's very heavily regulated. They went through an awful lot last year. Dave Jordan went through a lot with the company with Janet Carpenter, who's head of compliance, to make sure that these products met the standards and that we followed regulations. And this is why if you do something that is non-compliant, you are going to get an email that's going to say, can you please change this because it is non-compliant? And if you do not do it, you're going to allow yourself to be given a fine. So we need to understand what the background is, so you can actually put problems out there, like all of these conditions that you may have, and you've got a solution, so long as you don't actually add any product or doctor and so forth attached to it. So, okay, so let's talk with it now, because I do want to actually open up this call to people. If you've got any questions, please ask, because we want you to understand how you can actually talk about what's happening for you. So I can open it up to give you a bit of an idea yourself. Like if I share what these products are, I've had to learn how to change how I talk about things. So, for me, I will say I've got 6 chronic conditions that I've been dealing with, some of them from birth all the way through. And I came across these amazing flavonoids. And through the synergy of these flavonoids, I've been able to support and assist my body in managing those symptoms. I'm not cured, I'm not healed, but by goodness, I'm living life better. What I can say to you, I guarantee that these products are going to support your body and it's going to help you heal itself. But I can't tell you how long it's going to take, and I can't tell you what benefits that you're going to feel. But I guarantee that if you introduce it into your life, these flavonoids are going to help support you, or this particular blend of product. So even if we're talking about gut health, if we're talking about the relief, don't put the product name in there. If you're looking at gut health, I've had gut health issues for years, but I've come across this formula that has given me amazing support, and it's helping me manage my daily symptoms. Does that make sense to people? So I'd like to please open up this is an open forum today. Like, this is a space, we're not we want to try and stick to a nice clean 30 seconds, but it's 30 minutes, sorry. But if you've got some questions, now's your time to ask, because otherwise we'll close the recording and then we'll open it up freely afterwards. We're all a bit shy.
Oh, I have a question. Can you hear me though? I'm not sure.
I can, yes.
I don't think my camera's on. I have said before, I'm taking amazing products, and although they do not cure, heal, repair, that they have helped give me quality of my life back and manage some daily symptoms that I was suffering with. Can I use the word quality of life, like help with my quality of life? And I didn't give the name of the product. I was just saying like flavonoids or enzymes. Am I able to do that?
Yes, you can. We can talk about any condition that you like, so long as you don't have the product name, you do not have the company name, you do not have the formulator's name, and you do not have any pictures of any of those in there as well. The moment that you put a photo in of any of those things that we've spoken about that is company driven, you open yourself up to be non-compliant. So in regards to writing your testimonial, that becomes, again, it's learning how to walk and talk. So somebody has asked in here, I believe, Linda, to be able to understand how to write your testimonial. My testimonial, I've had to reinvent it. It's quite a lengthy one, but if I talk about it, yes, I do have 6 chronic conditions, and they're major. And I started taking these flavonoids, and then I've added these other amazing products in there as well. One that helps me to support my gut health, one that's been able to provide me to manage to feel the benefits of a more restful sleep, one that's been able to help me with brain fog. So all of these formulas that I've introduced, my chronic pain, my fibromyalgia, spinal surgeries, bladder issues, and so forth have all been able to be managed and supported, and my symptoms have been managed by these on a daily basis. So it just becomes, there's no, what do you say? There's no actual product name, there's no company, there's no doctor, there's nothing in there. So I can freely say it in that manner without actually being non-compliant. I guess that's the thing for it. So has anyone got any other questions? Because I'd love to try and help you.
So we can only talk about ourselves. I can't take your story and share it with somebody else, right?
You can share my story so long as it's compliant.
I mean, yeah, but if you made it, I've done one that's in compliance, and I find somebody has something similar to what you have, then I can share your whole story then.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Just please don't get excited and put a photo of the product in there, or do not tag Dr. Ahrens if you're a friend with him on Facebook, because the moment that you tag him, you're non-compliant. And I'll untag you anyway, because it breaches what we call, which is really quite difficult. But when you start to go through that process, it is really serious. And is there any other questions? No? Okay, what I want to do then, what we will do, I hope everybody's got something out of this. Please stay on, because we'll keep it as a clean recording, and hopefully you've got something out of this today to be able to understand how to talk about any product, really, where we're assisting and supporting to manage our symptoms, where we're not healing, curing, or mitigating at all in any of the conditions that we have. We're merely providing our body with the support to heal itself. I can't guarantee you how. I can guarantee you it's going to work. I just can't tell you how long it's going to take. But give it the time that it needs, and you'll be amazed at what it does for you. You know, I'm 6.5 years in, and my body has loved what I've given to it. I'm fueling my body basically with food. And that's pretty much what I say to people without actually saying what it is. And then I can actually tell people off of social media, on a phone call, exactly what it is if they do ask. So on that note, please stay with us. I want to thank you all for joining us today, and I hope you got something out of this today. And I look forward to getting your feedback from it after we finish recording. So I hope you have a great weekend. Get onto the corporate call afterwards, and we look forward to seeing you next week. So thank you so much.